What's up, everybody? How are you today? I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful day. I sure am. I can't complain at all. And if I could, I would, but I'm not. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't complain at all. Um, Welcome to this segment of Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host Kevin Branzetti, who is right there making noise. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be joined later on by Chuck. I think Chuck and Kevin will have a good conversation tonight about some topics, or one topic in particular that I'm sure that they'll have a good conversation about. How are you all doing? We have a lot to discuss. So many things is happening in this world today. Um, and you know what? We will get right to it. So first and foremost, let me just run down happy holidays. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Uh, I did. I think we haven't spoken since the Ahmaud Arbery trial, the verdict, and that came out. So that's another thing too that we have to discuss. Hey, Vera Forster, what's up, Collins? How are you, James? Uh, Welcome. What's up, everybody? So yeah, we haven't spoken about the Ahmaud Arbery case, the trial. New mayor coming in January, a month away. Countdown. Uh, what else? Um, oh wow, there's just so much going on, and I guess we have
School
all that.
shooting in Michigan.
Yes, yes, yes. And his father bought him the gun, and his father just went to the school to talk to the parent, to talk to the school. The parents went to talk about his behavior, and
I sure
look what happens. So let's we can address that, Kev. Let's talk about that for a minute. Um, the case. I think I sent you an email on it. You might have to look.
You sent me a lot.
Yeah. So hopefully we can run through them. What's up, Baker? How are you? It's always good to see Collins. Colin, how are you? How you feeling? Um, yeah. So there's so much we want to discuss. Samantha, how are you, sis? Long time no see. So let me just while Kevin looks up that in regards to the shooting, the schedule: first Mondays of the month, Assemblyman Al Taylor; the second Monday of the month, Dr. Marilyn Corder. A new variant's out. Isn't that something? Wow. Like, oh, and speaking of that, I just got my booster today, so that's something too. I did do that. I'm not playing. Don't want to play around with whatever is out there. So I'm trying to do what I got to do. Cabrera, what's up, brother? How are you, man? How you been? Long time no see. So that's the second Monday of the month, Dr. Marilyn Corder. The third Monday of the month, we have Allison Williams, the First Lady of Def Jam, in the building. She's been busy lately, so we would love to see what she's talking about and what's going on. What's up, Mark? How are you? And the fourth Monday of the month, we have Pastor Kevin Graves. We have Pastor Kevin Graves, Spiritual Talk. I know he wants to address a lot of issues and things of that magnitude. And every Wednesday, we have Kevin and Chuck. Chuck and Kevin, however you want to address them. I'm trying to, like I said, I would love to talk about some sports one day. Kevin and I talked about in the green room last week. We talked about some stuff that he enlightened me on about his personal life. And one day we'll do a show on something like that. We'll try to find some things and bring it up. I'll keep you in suspense about it because it's Kevin's personal life. So we'll definitely love to talk about that. Colin said, remember I told you guys that kid would be the keynote speaker next year. Yes, yes, he did. He already met with Trump the very next day. Exactly. He did. What's up, Adrian? Yeah, he was at Fargo, wherever it is. Trump said he was a good kid, poor guy. He got caught into a whole bunch of stuff. They tried to hurt the poor kid. Um, Kevin has feelings about Rittenhouse. We see that Rittenhouse has already joined forces with the Republican Party strong hard body, and he's thinking about law enforcement too, maybe. Well, we know the one thing: you better stay on the West Coast or the Mid South, Midwest, wherever he's at. I don't think he has any love over here on the East Coast. What do you? And without further ado, we got Chuck in the building. What's up, Chuck? Yeah,
oh, bro, you ready, man? You ready?
I will today. I will enjoy sitting back watching this. We was in our chat room, and both of them. We won't even tell you what the story is about yet. But both of them said, "Yeah, we will discuss it." Kev said, "We'll discuss it Wednesday." Chuck said, "Absolutely." What's up, Rashid? My brother in the building. How you holding our brother during the holidays? Always thinking about you, man. Maybe we try to get together one day this week and have something to eat. My prayers are definitely around the holiday times. I know it's hard for you thinking about your mother, so always know that I got prayers. Also, especially Stefania, I know she's going through it with her passing of her uncle. Also, too, I think Avon, his wife was killed. Big time music exec. His wife was killed in a home invasion in California, Beverly Hills, 81 years old. Why do you have to? I mean, come on. Like, it's senseless to kill people anyway, but your home invasion, I don't know why that just smells like a hit to me. You know what I'm saying? Beverly Hills, you go there purposely. I mean, a lot of things come over as home invasions, but I get that. But I don't know the details of that case. So, Chuck, before you came in, we were just talking. I just told everybody I just got my booster today, and then we were talking about I'm not playing.
No, I ain't playing. I got mine on Monday.
No, I just remember like early in the year, Bill, you were on the fence with the vaccine, and I was early on saying I'm getting it as soon as it comes. And now it's gotten the opposite. You beat me to the booster.
Hey, I mean, listen, what's up, Paul Martinez, Sandra, Darren Joseph, what's up, everybody in the building? Oh, yeah, well, listen, man, I'm not playing, and I'm trying to be around a long time, so you got that red hair to kind of throw things off a little, deflect it. I'm go with it, man. I got to get it. And with that being said, so
I got the one video queued up already.
All right, let's go. Okay, which one is this we're going to talk about first?
Wow.
What's up, Blake? Junior Blake is in the building, 2A strong. Cabrera's in the building. Blake is in the building, 2A strong. So, all right. Oh, so Kev and Chuck want to get right into this.
I think it's actually a great video, and I have a ton of thoughts on this, and it's an interesting thing how we reacted differently to it. But so I want to show it before I explain anything.
Okay, so first and foremost, everybody, as we all know, there is always white on white crime, but it's not publicized like that. And then I'm going to let these two take it from here after we watch this video. And please, everybody, I want your take on this. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-hosts, Chuck and Kev, Kevin, Chuck. And watch this and let me know what your take is on this.
This is on video. Get off of the property.
Where's my son?
Her ex-husband has showed up.
Get off of my property. I'll go get him. I'm supposed to have him at 3. You're playing games telling me that I can pick him up at 6? I'm going to have his car. I've already got the pump on the way to your mom's house. Because that's probably where he is. It's not when I'm done working. I get him at 3:15. I get him at 3:15. I don't care if you wanted to see him or not. I get him at 3:15. If you want to see him, you see him up until 3:15. You keep trying to keep my son from me. I'm fixing to drag you and Anne-Marie and everybody else into court. I'm subpoenaing your mom. I'm subpoenaing Anne-Marie. This is on video. I'm very Leave. Do it right now. You better fucking use it, motherfucker. Because goddamn it, I'll take it from you and fucking
Call the police. Call 911.
My son.
Call 911. Call 911. Call 911. Call 911. Call 911. I have it on video, Kyle. You did it, not him.
I told all of y'all to leave.
We came to get his son.
He's not here.
She should have told that. She should have told that.
None of y'all should be here. None of y'all should be here. I asked you to leave. I did everything. I did not want to do any of this.
911. How could
Do you want to play it again?
I don't know if we have to.
Okay. I mean,
I got to tell you something though. Watching that on my phone and watching it here, different.
Oh, it is.
It's
different?
Yeah, because it showed more.
It's different?
No, it
No,
was smaller. I didn't see parts of the video.
Oh, you didn't?
Okay, so
no.
So your opinion may change right now. Am I correct?
It might. It might change. It might not.
You think it might change a little bit? Okay. Okay. All right, Kevin. So give me your spin on it now, brother, since you done seen it in entirety.
I don't know if I have a spin up, but when I first watched it, what I had saw and my own, thoughts on this video was out of order. I took it as, and probably my own prejudice, which is strange coming from a guy who's just got divorced, that I would side with the woman on this, right? Like, it's very strange.
Okay.
But I took it as he was irate, angry at their house. They said to get out of there, and it's probably happened a bunch of times before. So, he got the new boyfriend, husband got the gun and said, get the hell out of here. And he tried to take his gun.
Right.
But
and I'm telling you, that's how I saw it on the phone. And I'm telling you,
Evan, don't make it personal.
No. I don't mind saying it. I don't mind saying that, different view, different things. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. It happens.
Okay. So
it's December. It's the second time it's happened this year. It's not bad.
He's keeping stats on that too. Oh my God!
Yeah. It was. I knew that was coming.
Oh man! Because I'm sitting there, I'm in utter amazement. I'm in shock. We said, "There's no crime committed here." I'm like, "What are you looking at? Like, are you blind?" Like, I said, "Hold on, you got to be kidding me!" But now, let me get this right. Is that an air pistol? I mean, what type of? Because you see no flash, you see nothing. He shoots it first to the ground, right? And it's not really a pop, it's not a bang, and then all of a sudden he backs up, and he it sounds like more like air than anything else. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know what type
I'm not a gun expert.
No,
because whatever it did, it took him down.
Whatever it is, it put his ass down though.
Yeah, it put him down.
So I don't know if it's a certain kind of gun that has some kind of silence to it, but I mean, he came out with it, and he knew it would have something, and it's obviously none of us here have the follow up on this story. Everybody, you want to see it? You want to show it again?
Actually, do you have? I don't even know where this happened.
I don't have. I mean, everything I've got that was sent to me was what I sent to you guys. We can play it again. We play it again.
Yeah, I want to see. Well, what is
I tried to do some research on it. I found some other guns that look similar to that, and it appears that they're like high-powered, like some type of high-powered air pistol with a CO2 tank or some. It almost has the same velocity and the same strength as getting hit with a bullet. But I'm not sure if that's what that is or not.
My man said it could be a 22. It don't make a big bang.
Oh, really? Oh, so it could be a 22 long barrel. Like,
Yeah.
oh, is that what it is? Or
Maybe.
a long gun, a 22 long gun? Okay.
Now, it to me, it sounds like the blonde-haired guy is, right with his, the time with his child. I'm going to say that sounds good.
Right.
I'm still going to question if there's actually, in the end, a crime.
Oh, let's
see. And you.
And I'm going to watch this. No, really, think about it. That's the other person's house.
Right. Now,
right?
He's there to pick up his kid because
so
he
now
obviously has custody of his kid.
Yeah. This is the point where the dark head.
Sure from the beginning, because I got my man John Cross in there building and Manny Montero. And Junior Blake said, "Oh no," he said the dude got no legal right. He created the emergency. So
it's on his property, and he tells the guy to get off. Right, just like when he comes back out with the gun, does the blonde-haired guy, comes up and to him, right? Like
no, there was no actions of hitting.
Right?
I mean, but okay, no. Kevin, in your defense, before he,
no, it's not my defense.
No, well, no, it's your defense. No, he's not. I'm just playing. But before he goes in, all right, play it from the beginning, Kevin. Because
I'll go back to the beginning, but this is where he comes out with the gun.
Now, my point is this: look, prior to this, and stop it. Prior to this, other than him telling him very clearly to get the hell out of his face, I'm here to get my kid.
Yep.
He hasn't said anything that's threatening in manner. He's not carrying or holding anything that shows he's going to use any type of. He hasn't exerted any physical force toward anybody. He's staying his distance from whoever this female is now. I don't know if the guy that comes out could be her brother. It could be the new baby's daddy. I don't know. Whoever he is to this cat. So, and there was no verbal threatening between the two of them, other than them getting up in each other's face and one towering over the other and telling him to mind his goddamn business. So other than that, what's the justification of not going into the house and bringing out a gun? That's my point. Other than the fact that little man is a freaking punk, he can't do nothing with his hands, and he feels chumped because this guy's towering over him, telling him to mind his damn business, and to back in the house when he's speaking to his former wife about picking up the custody of his child. He's there to get his kid. He has custody. She only has visitation up to 3:00. She tried to play some name game. Talking about, no, go get him from my mother's house, and he's not going to see him till 6. So what exactly was said or done that facilitates him to come out with a gun and use deadly physical force, if that's a true gun, against someone who's having a verbal altercation with him? That's my point.
I'm not arguing any of that. What I'm getting at is...
Hold on. Hold your thought. My man John Cross, he said... and that's my partner in narcotics. He said, then he should have dialed 911 first. There was no emergency to take out a gun. The guy is 100% wrong. Go ahead.
I'm going to go with one. We don't even know what state it is, so we don't know the rules that are wrote here. But tell him to get off your property. Coming out with a gun, you're in your right to come out with your gun, right? We can disagree on whether he should or shouldn't have, but legally, you're fine with coming out on your porch with your gun and telling a guy to get off your property. We can pick on him for being smaller. He should have been able to hand himself, should have called 911. But I'm just going letter of the law. Did he commit a crime? We could disagree with, but it's now he comes out with a gun. If he legally owns that gun, it's on his property. He's okay. So
Darren Joseph said it's Texas. But let me ask you guys a question. It's Texas. Let me ask you a question. And Darren, if you got more intel on this, please put it in the chat or text it to me like you just did. Let me ask you a question. Here's the thing about laws and gun rights and stuff like that. And I mean, we're all gun owners, so I'm not here saying don't have a gun, don't own a gun. But any disagreement, a person gets a gun. Get off our property. Makes you right, even though you're wrong. Because the bottom line is, that's why this is a child in common. He's there to pick up his child. She's playing games with him, right? Of course, he's going to get annoyed.
Yeah.
Dude talks about the first thing this dude wants to say is get off my property. But in his mind, he's already going to get his gun, which is Chuck's point. So Go
I
ahead.
got you, but
And,
I'm still
and the
going
second
with,
point in the second point in the matter
is it okay?
he's
for the law?
legally the father is coming to pick up his son. So I'm assuming that he's probably come and picked up his son on. I mean, I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but he's on his property to pick up his son. That's why he's stepping on his property. Now she's saying that the child isn't there. Now he's a little irate because what do you mean the child's not here? You're playing these games. You're sending me to your mother's house.
And then
So
it's
now
his
he's yelling and telling me
he's got to call the cops and step away too,
Uh,
right?
No. You're right. All right, you're right. Hold up. That's right. I mean, he could have actually backed up, but by the same token, 9 times out of 10, when we get called on matters such as that, right? Honestly speaking, and it's a custody issue in terms of where the child is. You call the police, we show up. Our latitude in really getting involved, based on the fact that it's somewhat of a family or civil matter, we have a little flexibility on it in terms of how far we would go with it. Sure. But obviously, there's been some agreement that this is her time. She gets to be with her child during a certain window. He's coming to pick the child up. Now the child's not there. So he's on the property for the purposes of just retrieving his kid.
But he knows the child's not. He knows the child's not there at this point. He's told to get off the property, so he's got to get off.
Right. The man is irate.
He's irate.
I mean, I get what you're right. I mean, I understand that he has the right. The right has a right to tell him at that point to get off his property. But now, if he tells him to get off the property because he doesn't remove himself for the property, that now you're saying that legally that he has a right to go into the house and bring out a gun in defense of what?
And he's standing on his now. He's standing in front of his house
in defense of his property.
In defense of himself, his family, his property. He does with.
But the man is not posing a threat.
He's got an irate man on his property,
who's now speaking to his former wife at a distance. But he's not even walking up on her.
But no, there's like, do you wait for him to get violent, or you like I said, he's irate, he's on your property, told him to get off.
Okay, so then why didn't he go in the house and call 911? Why didn't he call the police?
And it sounds like that was being done. I actually think the blind guy called 911 beforehand too. But Bolt should have called 911 and stepped away, right? Like that's really the answer here. I'm just going with, is it actually a crime in the end? I'm not telling you the dog-haired guy's right.
Let me interject. Maybe in Texas, it really may not be. So
I don't think it's a crime in Rockland County where I live either. Right. Really? But I want to go with it. Again, I can come. There's an angry man on my property. I come out, go inside, grab my gun, have my gun with me.
But you know,
and tell him to get off. Right.
But you know,
there's nothing wrong with that.
You might be right. But there's a reason why he's angry.
Oh, and agreed. Everybody who's angry has a reason, right? But that's not. I still have the right to say, get off, stand 50 feet away from my property, 20 feet off my property, whatever it is, get off my property. Call 911, and when the cops come, we'll talk to the cops because this communication is not going to work between the group of them, right?
Like John said that bringing out the shotgun made the situation worse. If the guy
escalated it.
And what the guy could have did, he could have just went in the house and called 911. I think John said that earlier too. He said,
both of them could have. I'm not arguing that the guy shouldn't have called 911 in the house. She should have went in the house with him, closed the door, called 911.
Darren said he wasn't in fear for his life either.
I'm not. Fear for your life is when you could shoot. That's the difference.
Fear for his life is when the dummy brought the gun out, and now it's fight or flight. And now what am I going to do? You put a gun in my chest. I got to make a decision. Do I either grab this freaking gun to keep myself from getting shot and get it the hell away from you, or do I run? The guy decided that he wanted to pull a gun from him. Then when he gets the gun, right, he tries to grab it. Fine. He doesn't get it. The guy is able to break away, and he takes 5 to 7 feet away. He's not moving forward. He's not advancing. He's got no weapon in his hand, and he fires 2 shots. You're telling me that's not a crime?
Yeah. If you were at work, right? Let's just go to a different scenario. You pulled out your gun on somebody, and they tried to take it from you, and you got your gun back and pulled back a step, and you shot the guy. You good?
No.
Yes, you are. 100%.
No, my ball's in a sling at that point. Oh, no. They're going to have me. No. They're going to question everything because they're going to say, was there time? At that particular point, the man stepped back 5 to 7 feet. There was time for him to make a decision not to pull that trigger. He was not advancing. He was standing. Matter of fact, if you look at the video, he's standing with his hands like this. He's arguing with him with his hands out. There's nothing in his hands. There was no justification of him popping off 2 rounds. And he's 5 to 7 feet from him when he pops. He backs up. The guy's standing on the porch. He aims and he fires.
Yep.
Play it. We have some people just chiming in and looking in right now. I want them to see the whole.
He comes closer. He comes up onto the porch.
He's
not
yelling.
a good move.
He says very clearly, if you're going to bring it out, you better use it, motherfucker. That's what he said to him. Right?
Not a smart move.
But you got to understand, he's amped up. He sees a gun now. It escalates it.
I know he's amped up. I get
right.
That.
And what does he do?
Like, every party here could have done something completely different to avoid this whole thing, right? But I'm just going with, I don't think it's chargeable.
Okay.
That's why I'd like to know where this happened. So,
well, Darren said Texas.
Yeah, but we need names of people so we could look it up and see.
Oh, so you don't want statistics?
You want stats?
Somebody else says Texas or gives you an answer, and then you talk about, well, I need proof.
Well, what am I supposed to look up in Texas? Domestic dispute?
Yeah, duh.
Texas?
Yeah.
You think it's going to pop up that quick? Maybe it will. I don't even know when did this happen?
Well, how about
you
this?
Sent the video, Bill. You got to have a little background.
Listen, you're the statistician. I'll let you do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, can you just do me a favor? Can you play it from the beginning so other people can see it again? Thank you.
Yeah.
Cabrera said property doesn't give you the right to kill. You can protect yourself and family for deadly physical force. Dude is wrong. Kelvin said, in the house, is that her house also? And who gets the white privilege card? I guess.
Oh man.
I told him it's the shooter, Kel Mack is the shooter. So, all right, play it from the beginning. Everybody, this is the last time we'll play this one. Go ahead. Now you gotta play with the sound effects, Kevin.
Look.
Yeah.
This is on video. Get off of the property.
Where's my son?
Her ex-husband has showed up.
You shoot at my feet like at the Wild Wild West.
Right. Look at that. He shoots at his feet first. That's the first thing. I don't understand why he needed to do that. What, to scare him off. And then he tries to hear it. All right, let's just watch it. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I'm amped up about this because this is ridiculous.
Kevin, go back a little bit. Just go back a little bit because I want to hear the dialogue between these two.
Well, you got to tell, our co-host to zip it.
No, he tight. I'm
tight, man.
You know what's great about this? What I enjoy about this? It's just 2 white guys. So like there's no of a racial perspective of anything. It's a cleaner argument.
Well, not for nothing. It's kind of nice to see y'all, y'all kind of hurting one another at times.
Yeah.
We're dumbasses too.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? It's nice that they're finally showing it, right? That this video is leaked out.
Well, I don't know who's showing it. You've got the video. It's not on the news anywhere. Oh, look.
Oh,
Junior Blake
got to be.
So you know what I did?
Junior Blake found the article.
I called Texas. I call these two.
No. Junior found the
He
article.
just said somebody found it, right?
Junior, he just put it in the chat.
There you go. You're not the only statistician here, brother. Come on, man.
Well, that's not stats. That's news. I don't want to correct you, but
No, he found it. It's stat. It's facts. Like John said, 2 stupid white boys. Regardless, Cabrera said, regardless of color, you're killing a human being. Absolutely. So, Kevin, can you play it right now? So while you look and you delve into your Columbo.
Yeah.
Volume.
It's on.
I'll go get him. I'm supposed to have him at 3:15. You're playing games telling me that I can pick him up at 6. I'm going to have him come. I already got the pump on the way to your mom's house. Because that's probably where he is. It's not when I'm done working. I'll get him at 3:15. I get him at 3:15. I don't care if you wanted to see him or not. I get him at 3:15. If you want to see him, you see him up until 3:15. You keep trying to keep my son from me. I'm fixing to drag you and Anne Marie and everybody else into court. I'm subpoenaing your mom. I'm subpoenaing Anne Marie. This is on video. I'm very Leave. Do it right now. You gotta fucking use it, motherfucker. God damn it, I'll take it from you and fucking
Call the police. Call 911.
My son.
Call 911. Call 911. Call 911. Call 911. Call 911. I have it on video, Kyle. You did it, not him.
I told all y'all to leave.
We came to get his son.
He's not here.
She should have told that. She should have told
None
that.
of y'all should be here. None of y'all should be here. I asked you to leave. I did everything. I did not want to do any of this.
911. How can
Thanks for the Vera said, Vera with the wonderful last name, Foster. She said the incident took place in Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock, Texas. I went to school
Lubbock,
there.
Texas, between William Kyle Caruth and Chad Reed, deceased.
Oh,
John said I would have shot the chicken first. Yeah. So he's deceased now. So
Hey, Doc.
now listen, as we listen to that story again, we're all investigators at one point, detectives, law, and supervisors, different supervisors that would make a call on this. Kevin, you're saying that this happened in Rockland County. So basically the bottom line is, dude escalates. He was not threatened before he went and got that gun. All that man said is, I just want my son. He's talking to her. Stop playing. He pointed to the house in gesture of her mother, Annie Mae, or Mary Sue, whatever her damn name was. And he just said, now the guy did say before he went in the house, leave my property. He's like, yo, I'm trying to get my son. I just want to come and pick up my son to leave. Dude goes in the house. That time to go in that house, he could have kept his little punk behind in there. He could have called 911, right? Somebody else, I think the deceased wife said, or his lady said, yo, somebody, like, we're calling 911. He's explaining to her. He's not cursing at her. He's not disrespectful to her. He's saying, you playing games with me, right? Dude comes out with a gun. Listen, the testosterone is flowing. Yo, dude, you come out here with a gun, you better use it. You know what I'm saying? They do the chin up, the belly up. You know, they facing off with each other. Dude shoots at his feet, right? Now that you shot at my feet, you leave me no choice but to grab the gun because you're letting me know you're going to shoot it, right? With that being said, he goes back in the end and shoots the guy. And then he justifies it and says, yo, I told him. What's up, Marquetta? How are you? Not everyone in Texas thinks it's the OK Corral. You're right, Paula. I want to know. I don't know if this guy is in jail or if he's off right now, if he's home right now listening to Real Talk Chronicles. I don't know what this guy is doing. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shooter, if you're listening to this, please come on, because we need to find out what's going on. You're just going around Texas busting cap and shit. The one thing that I do know is that I won't be coming to your property because I guess I'll be in trouble for shooting you first because you definitely trigger happy.
So what I could see so far, there are no charges. The widow who's in the car filming is filing a unlawful death lawsuit against him, but no charges.
Like my man Kaberba said, he said the dude wanted his son and end up dead. How crazy is that? So now this kid got to be with the stepfather. And how how does this work? Now you hug the kid and you tell him, yo, I shot your father. He didn't listen. Really?
This is gonna be messed up, man.
Now that's I mean, you know, we joke and play a lot of things, but how deep is that now? You shot my father. Do you think does somebody say rat poison in tea? You know what I'm saying? like you think you're gonna be all right? You know? Does somebody say sleep with one eye open? That's
exactly.
Come on, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like Paula said, not everyone. Good, Marquetta. Glad you took the night off. So I'm here. Appreciate you. You know? So, I mean, everybody, what's your thoughts on it? Give me some thumbs up if you think the person. Go ahead.
Would you think it would be the guy with the gun would be right if there was a history of him getting violent? If the blind guy during these custody exchanges has gotten violent in the past?
No, I just if there's a history, and I guess I would have called 911. Like if there's a history, that's understandable. So at that particular point, after
calling
the first
911 when we live in New York City is different than calling 911 when you live in farmland in Texas.
No, but still in all, if it happens the first time, then guess what? Maybe you need to change the conditions associated with the exchange. Maybe it needs to be done at a precinct. Maybe it's got to be done at a fire station. I don't know, where there's witnesses.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm saying? If that's the case, if he had a history, then yeah, let's change the conditions in terms of the exchange. So that way it'll ensure that something like this doesn't happen. But there's as a parent that maybe in the past, other than having, say, a verbal dispute or a verbal altercation, obviously there probably wasn't any history. Maybe there was. I could be wrong. There could have. This could have been something.
Saying, would it change you? Would it, if there was a violent history, would it change your feelings of dark-haired dude getting a gun?
Still would have been. Yeah, because the guy, regardless, if violent in which way? I mean, violent in regards to him smacking him, punching him, harassing him, pushing him in the face. I don't know. What do you mean in terms of violent? What level of violence are you talking about? Because it all depends on the level of violence. Because after the first exchange, especially if I get my wig pushed back, I'm gonna make sure the next time he comes to get his kid, I'm gonna make sure that something is in place to ensure that don't happen again. It's just common sense. So at that particular point, the overall parameters in regards to the exchange would have to change. All right, I would have to put something in place to ensure that if we had a violent exchange the first time, that the second time it doesn't happen that way. But obviously, for whatever reason, I don't know if this is an isolated incident. I don't know if before in the past they had no history, there was no issues in the past. But that day, it came to a head. And I still don't feel that man, regardless of the circumstances, was justified in bringing that freaking firearm.
So now the local prosecutor has recused herself, and it's going to the state's attorney general. So we'll see.
Because she probably knows Billy Bob, or them cats. So she's like, maybe, she may have a family member that used to work for like this other jerk in the Aubrey case, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I'm saying? So she's going to recluse herself. Makes sense. Yeah, get out of Dodge. Have nothing to do with it. Step away from it.
Which is good. I mean, you like that it's done early.
Right, exactly. Do it
now. We already see what happens when you don't do it early because, little nepotism worked against somebody in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Mm-hmm. And just for everybody out there, I don't know. The three of us haven't spoken about that. But did anybody think that they weren't going to be found guilty between the two of you?
No, we talked about it.
No, we talked about it with Pastor. Well,
you and I and Pastor about, you know my opinion. I thought
Chuck wasn't.
I thought it was such an easy one that I wasn't as nervous as, some other trials make you, on edge. Mm-hmm. I thought this was kind of an easy one.
Yeah, like it's so funny. Colin said the stepmother is trying to adopt him. Cabrera said looks like the son is going to shoot him in his sleep. Yeah, probably so. Just because that's what's happening.
Especially taking into consideration that Texas has such liberal gun laws.
Yeah.
Paula Junior 16, go get a loaf of bread and buy himself a 9mm and come home. I mean,
because
it's that easy.
It's crazy. They put us through the ringer to just renew our license there. You gotta I mean, and not to make light of it, but to go back to the shooting that happened in Kevin, we have some footage on that, right? On
The school.
the Missouri.
I was reading I like the website. I've told you guys before, heavy.com. So if you go on the heavy.com, I'll show you the article. You get like, they just gave the name of the shooter. So that it gives you like the 5 facts about the shooter, the 5 facts about the incident, and they pull from other places. And I find them to be very good in how they pull it.
Well, supposedly the shooter was being bullied. He had some problems. I think I sent some of you, emailed you some stuff. Also, too, that his father just bought the gun, the 6 hour, just bought the gun on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was a
now,
gift.
did the father bought it for him? That I haven't looked at yet. Did the father buy the gun for him, or did the father leave the gun where the kid could take it? What I'm trying to get is we're going to hit a point here where this father's going to be chargeable.
Well, it appears that they're actually considering charges against the mother and the father because of the gun.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kevin, listen. I think, like I said, I did send you something from the news post that speaks, and they show. I think they talk about it, but also too, if you're going to charge this father with giving out the gun, why couldn't the guy that gave Rittenhouse the gun be charged? You see what I'm saying? Like, so.
Well,
go ahead.
One, Rittenhouse, the state he was in, was legally allowed to have that gun. His age fit.
Who was?
Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse legally was allowed to, because that's why they couldn't charge him with gun possession. That charge was tossed because you can't charge him with gun possession if at the age of 17. Now, we clearly have an argument with somebody at the age of 17 being allowed to have a gun, right? Like that. You can't smoke a cigarette, can't drink a beer.
You can't vote.
Can't vote. Can't enlist.
Can't go into the service, right?
Where you need a gun and get a gun, but we let you carry a gun. That's an ass backwards law. But it's there, right? So we can't change that fact.
Paula, let me see if you can answer this. Since Kevin kind of, I'm not going to say he supports.
He can't. The mom can't be charged for state lines. Mom brought him across state lines. He didn't have a gun with him. He got the gun from a person there. He didn't. She did not give him the gun. He did not leave the house with the gun. He got it from a person there. So, and that's why in her case, mom is completely not chargeable. Yeah, is she a moron to send her kid to a volatile thing?
Absolutely.
Can we go with, like in New York, we have the endangering the welfare of a child, which is the catch-all, and we charge. Is there a possibility of stretching it to that? Maybe. But that's the only thing you have because they didn't have the gun. This is, you just bought the gun to give, if you're giving it to your kid, knowing your kid is having problems in school, you just went to the school to deal with these problems. And where would you think that was a good move?
Yeah. You're gonna play some of the footage, Kevin?
Which one would you like?
Of something of this case that we're talking about now.
And it looks like he was posting on social media beforehand that he was going to do this.
Yeah.
Right. He made some admissions in regards to, I see y'all tomorrow. Look at my new baby. Like he was like precious. Like, he went on Instagram and posted photos.
He was spazzing out. He was spazzing out.
Yeah. He was praising the firearm.
Paula said, let me read some of the Paula comments. Cabrera said, Charles was talking about when you mentioned common sense. He said, he said, Charles, you said common sense. Remember, common sense is not common. Not everybody has it. Exactly. We're talking about this case, Cabrera, when Kevin plays it in Missouri, the school shooting. Paula said all of that should have been negotiated between the mother and the father. It should felt threatened, or he was violent. So sad. Paula said, why wasn't Rittenhouse mother getting charged? We answered that. Paula said, no, he didn't. Report said she was the one who gave him the gun across state lines. So there's a lot of back.
Those were found out to be false.
Yeah.
He got the gun on the scene. You pull a lot of media things that gave that, and unfortunately, sometimes the media doesn't give accurate answers. But he didn't. She did not. He did not go across the border. That came out in trial.
I think if in one of these articles, Kev, if you scroll, there's a video clip inside that speaks on something.
Just got my look. All right, so he's posting. I just got my new beauty today, so that's his post.
Right.
Damn.
I don't understand that in the slightest bit. I've gotten when my kid was legal enough to shoot a gun, paid for, arrange a certified New York State instructor, and let him shoot.
But let me ask
my ex-wife do it too.
Let me ask you a question. Maybe you can help me with this. You know, some parents buy PlayStation 5 or 6. I don't know what number they're up to now. Why do some parents buy guns and want to teach their kids how to shoot guns? For the life of me, if we're talking about not being violent and staying away,
it's demystifying it. Right? That gun in my house, you know, the kid sees it. Right? This is how I was taught, was take away the mystery.
But you can take away the mystery.
One day touched my kid was old enough. New York State law said at I think it was 16 they could shoot at a range. So at 16 he was very interested in it. I let him shoot at a range. Hasn't done it since.
Got you.
Now 18.
I got you. I mean, because I mean, you know, and this is another elephant in the room. I think a lot of times white children are afforded that luxury because when people of color started seeing young kids getting shot. Remember, all three of us grew up playing cops and robbers, right? Mm-hmm. Having toy guns. Right now, you can't find a person of color buying their kid a toy gun. Because right now, we've already experienced that a young person of color can get shot. I don't know if white children have experienced that yet. So that's why it may still happen that you can take your kid to a range. The one thing we don't want our children to do, and I'm saying we, but I would say probably maybe being law enforcement. I understand you talking about taking the mystery away from the mystique of seeing a gun, thinking about a gun. Yeah, unloading it. Here, touch it. Now, if you ever touch again, I'll punch you in your face, little boy. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I don't know if I would take you to the range, but because taking you to the range, you might get a taste for it. You know what I'm saying? Because shooting a gun could also be equivalent to getting a basketball, and now I like it. You know, you understand what I'm trying to say? So with that being said, the mystique can also turn into a fetish. You understand what I'm saying? And now your child wants to pick up the gun and shoot it, and now he wants to go to the range all the time. So now from picking up a hockey stick or football or baseball or basketball, now gun archery or target practice is added to the equation. And I just trying to find out, like, why is that something that is so prevalent? And I don't know if you can answer. Give me the best thing that you can.
I can only answer why I do it. I don't speak for all the white people of America.
No, I know you can't. I know you can't.
I can't answer. I can answer for Kevin Branzetti, and I gave you why I did it. Yeah.
No, I get it, but you know, a lot of times, my first
kid wanted no part of it. Like never asked, never was inquisitive. My second one, my son was. You know.
No, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say,
I got two more, and we'll see when they get older how it goes.
And I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is, I know you can't answer for all white people in America, nor can I answer for all people of color. but I can have a kind of ideology. So I guess maybe that's what I'm asking. What's your thought process on it?
Well, I gave it to you. That was it. It was to demystify it. It is.
So you're saying okay? You're trying to be a little smart, Alec. I get it.
I don't know what that smart Alec is.
Trying to be a Weisenheimer tonight. I got it.
I was like that with Chuck earlier. I don't know what you're asking me, but
you know what I'm asking you. You say you don't want to answer, but you know what I'm asking you. What I'm asking you is, why is it in white culture, gun is part of growing up?
You know what? I mean, I'm not white, but I think there's two.
You serious? You're not white?
I'm not white, but there's two fascinations with it. Like one, let's say if you're in a home where, you know, your father is an avid hunter, right? And he's a hunter. He likes to go out. He does big game shooting, or he does deer and whole 9 yards. Then I can understand a son either gravitating to the fact of having a gun or dealing with a gun because, all right, his dad is a hunter and he wants to learn how to hunt, or he wants to teach his kid how to hunt. So I get that. Another
thank you, Chuck. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to find out from
right? Maybe that. Or two, you live in a state where, like, let's say Texas, where everyone just at a certain age, for whatever reason, because they just own a gun. Like everyone in Texas at a certain age can just purchase a gun. So a gun is almost like having a baseball or having a freaking basketball in your home, because it's something that's prevalent. Everyone is eligible to have one. But the mere fact that, let's say, a state other than that, like for instance, guys who live like in Rockland County, right? Unless you're an avid hunter, or for the argument's sake, you've grown up around guns and you're trying to keep. I don't understand that either, other than what you're just telling me. In order to take the mystery out of it and let the person feel it, and they go get the kick back, and it scares the shit out of them, and they go, oh my God, I never want to touch this again, then that's understandable. But there are certain, for some odd reason, culturally speaking, there are just men who just, for whatever reason, even if those aren't the two parameters, they feel the need to teach their kid how to handle a firearm. And I guess that's the area that I'm kind of questioning. Is it because it's a militant issue? Is it just because you want to bear arms? I mean, are you a freaking EDP? You just like guns? I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm looking at it from the perspective of if a hunter, I'll give you that. You know, it's your kid. You want to teach your kid how to shoot a gun. I get it. Or based on the fact you're in a state where they're just liberal with everyone has a gun. So it's like you got to have one because everyone else has one.
Thank you, Chuck. And thank you, Stefania. Stefania said it's a cultural thing. I think all the people of color that could answer this question better than Kevin, because he all of a sudden his white card got revoked. It came in it, questions and shit.
Because,
you know what I'm saying?
Because I don't know if I'd have one if I wasn't a cop. Is part of the it's not part of my culture. It was my job. Is why I own one. It's not a culture thing. I grew up in Queens. Right? We didn't, my neighbors didn't have guns. Nobody had shotguns in their back of their pickup trucks. I didn't live in that, I lived in New York City.
I understand that, but
so for me, having a gun,
spoken to other white people and that have kids and have guns and taught their kids how to shoot, you can't tell me you haven't, because I'm sure. Listen, we've worked with people. Yeah, what's up, Paula? Paula Matthews in the building. Hoffman, 2-8 strong in the building. So I know when they've said, Kevin, won't you bring little Kevin and little your other daughters or whomever, and let's all go shooting in the woods. You could have said, well, hey, so and so, why do you like shooting guns and shit?
I've never done that.
Okay. Well, I didn't say you done it. I've been asked to go shooting, and I'm black.
Yeah.
So I know they've asked my black ass to go shooting. I know they asked your white ass to go.
One guy one time asked me to go shooting. No, it's not like.
So
no.
White people don't even trust you and shit, huh? Oh my God. What are we gonna do with you?
They threw me out. You like fucking Charlie Brown and shit. I can understand. I could understand being thrown out if I was doing this show years ago with you. You know,
I told you wouldn't be able to walk in the precinct. You'd be like, oh shit. Yeah. Let's go. All right. First, it's a tragedy.
That's just horrible.
Before we go to the next thing, we Kevin, you can come out of this. Before we go to the next thing, let me just say this, everybody.
You said you wanted to watch the video from the school shooter.
Oh, yeah, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
I hope it works.
All right. Okay, we'll post it because the bottom line is, on a serious note, please, bullying is crazy. Talk to your kids. For those that have children, find out what's happening in school because you don't know what's going on in school. I think everybody at one time, somebody has tried to bully them. I've experienced it from gangs. People don't like you because of whatever reasons. Certain situations you have to handle a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I've never had anybody in school try to bully me. As you can see, I was blessed with the gift of gab. So I was able to snap. So some people may want to fight me because I kind of got the best of them as a lyricist. But it wasn't a point of getting a point of not being afraid to fight. And that's the one thing about, this poor child. I'm going to start off saying poor child in lieu of the fact that he was bullied. Now, this is where it gets carried away. I don't know if he's acting out in school. Your parents come to school. Like, who drops the ball? Like, this is go ahead, Kevin.
If there's any case where I think a charge is going to come against the parents, it's going to be this one.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, but wait a minute. Why? If there is, I don't know if this is legal that he can buy his son a gun.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So I mean, neither.
I'll
Google. I don't know what goes on in Missouri. I don't know the gun laws in Missouri.
It's Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. I'm sorry. I don't know the gun laws. So I mean, if he's posting on Instagram or Facebook that he just bought he got a gun. Look what I got as a gift. He's not hiding it.
But so this kid is 15.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Hold on. Are you all right? This kid is 15. I mean, maybe I'm just being a little facetious, or maybe I'm just trying to give the other states the benefit of the doubt. But there is no place that I could possibly think of they would legally say that it's okay, even for target practice, that a 15-year-old would have the right to possess a gun, that his daddy should be able to buy him a gun. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But 15, to me, that seems a little too young to actually purchase a firearm directly for your child and say, oh, this is your gun. I mean, usually it's like 17, 18, 16, maybe, but 15? That's young, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what like we were talking, Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I was trying to ask Smarty Pants over there. Like, give me some insight, because that wasn't our culture to learn.
It wasn't mine either. I
didn't say it was.
That's outside of cities. That's.
I know,
it's not city culture. I don't care. What race you are. It's not city culture.
No, I know that what I'm trying to say, Kevin. I know it wasn't city culture, and I'm not saying that the fact that you lived in the city in Queens that you would experience that. But I'm saying as we've gotten older and we have friends that live abroad, and when I'm saying like Rockland County, Suffolk County, upstate, Putnam, wherever that may have or adjacent places, I don't know, that talk about, I mean, I've seen co-workers come in and talk about, here, try this, Billy, and I'll be like, what's that? That's deer. I'm not trying that. What, you caught this motherfucker right here? You want me to taste him? I'm not doing that, yo. First, I don't know if you clean. You want me to sit here and eat deer? Bambi? I just saw, Rudolph with his nose so bright. Now you want me to eat this little motherfucker? I'm not doing that, yo. I have feelings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like Paula said, she said they always go shooting for fun. It's a family thing. Let me tell you something. I'll never forget. Malika was talking to a coworker, and it was, I think, last year. They was like, "Oh, what you doing for Christmas? What are you doing? Oh, what you getting your kids for Christmas? I got my kid a sawed-off shotgun." What happened to Xbox? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're buying guns, and that's what it is a culture thing.
Everything I'm looking at as a person under 18 cannot own in Michigan.
Where is this place at? Where are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm
Michigan.
looking at it now. Natural Resource, Michigan. This is the person must be at least 18 years of age.
And I'm checking different, law websites. You can't be under 18. Can't be a felon, mental illness. The normal list of things, but it says under 18.
15, man.
Which is, I'm going to go to probably why the parents are going to get charged in this one.
Yeah.
And that social media posting showing that gun saying it's mine. I got my new thing.
Yeah, right.
Is going to sink them all.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Like Junior said, it's his.
Yeah.
It sounds like Dad did buy it for him.
And what's so sad, I mean, we're joking, and everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-hosts, Kevin Branzetti and Chuck Richards. And, we find humor in it because you can't just have a long face all night. But on a serious note, what psychological stuff was this kid going through, feeling so crazy that he had to go and shoot people that were making fun of him? Do you know what would have happened to us when we were kids if people felt the way we abused when we were snapping when we was kids? We abused each other.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about mothers.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
poverty.
The mental abuse, the bullying for kids, it's tough. I mean, a lot of kids in this country commit suicide every year because of it.
No, I know. That's a sad thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Kevin,
every one of us, I got 4 kids. Every one of my kids has either been bullied, witnessed bullying, right? You can't escape it. It's there. And
now let me ask you a question, Kevin, just to deviate. Why do you think that is? I don't know. I've just seen your kids, but walking on the screen.
I think it's, bullying, a lot of it stems from being uncomfortable with yourself, right? So I feel uncomfortable. I don't like something, so I'm going to make you feel worse. So I attack you, makes me feel better, right? That's like the premise of a lot of what bullying is. Being a kid and teenager, it's hard to growing up, right? It's hard to understand your feelings, fitting in, dealing with things at home, dealing with pressures at school. So if you don't, bullies are usually people who are insecure. So their insecurity comes out on you. So as long as you look worse than me, I feel better.
Absolutely.
And we talk a lot more about bullying. And I listen to my kids in the school, and discussions are about bullying. And I think at the younger age, they're a little bit better, but we haven't figured out how to fix it, right? Like we haven't gotten we haven't gotten this one. We're not even close yet with this in the world, right? We haven't figured out how to help kids because it's a scream for help, right? The kid who's in school bullying people is, in the end, majority of the time is crying for help. It's the bad kid at home who's you're acting up in front of your parents because you're crying for attention, right? We have seen children act badly when they're crying for help for different reasons at different levels. And I just don't think we've figured this out.
What's so funny? I'm going to read my man Norm's comment. And shout out to Kevin Grayson. We got 2A strong in here. Shout out to Donnie Roth, too. I saw you. Norm said, Bill, this is hard to do, but I have to take up for Kevin. If your family didn't hunt, then there was no guns in the house. I hunt deer, boar, bear, wild turkey, and grew up with guns and threw and thought everyone had one. I get it. So that's what I was trying to get him to say, Norm. But Kevin was trying to play the gray card. He tried to act like he wasn't white when I asked him that question.
What's the cards you put up? The red and the yellow.
The yellow card.
I threw up the penalties for you on Thanksgiving for saying that.
No, you did.
And you didn't get to hit. You got the yellow card the first time. You got the red card the second time. That's the automatic. Like you're out of the game. You're suspended. Thanksgiving, you're sending me news articles.
Yeah, everybody. News doesn't stop. Kevin wanted it to stop on Thanksgiving. Chuck and I didn't care. We kept.
We just we just kept sending them. Like,
it's family time. Leave me alone.
So what's so funny? Now I heard what you said, Kev, and then we'll go to another topic. I heard what you said about the, and I'm not disagreeing with you to a certain degree, where you said how the person bullying sometime is crying out for help too. But see, let's go back to our childhood, because snapping, I guess it was a form of bullying to a certain degree. It's just a verbal.
Depends on who you snap with. But going to work days, right? Like we're in the locker room, you and me and we're in the SNU office talk. We ripped each other apart. And
absolutely.
Laughs, and there was completely no line we couldn't cross. 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Here.
Yeah. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Force, with my co-host Chuck and Kevin. And that was my point. You know what I'm saying, Chuck? Like, when we snapping, then that means I'm a bully. You're a bully. Kevin's a bully. You know what I'm saying? Like barring saying something that's gonna hurt somebody's feelings. But when we now. We're jokesters, you know what I'm saying? But back then, when we snapped as kids, don't you dare come to school with like a hole in your pants, or one of your shoes is talking, like the rubber of the shoe, or you had ring around a collar or some shit, or you was like a little fat kid, and you was waddling or something. Oh my God, Yo, you was get it. You had the fake brand sneakers.
Oh my God, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, word, we had kids, and then you had the shit from the corner store, Ed's. You know what I'm saying? You was done.
Yeah, so that was me.
Listen, I can say
I had all the cheap stuff.
I can say I can be see. I don't understand that. I could be relentless. Like we from like snap hell, like you better not just say anything to anybody, just come to class and shut up, because all you gotta do is one thing, and everybody's on you, bro. You go home mad at your parents. Why you send me to school like this?
Right, exactly.
You better come to school the next day with some new shit. Otherwise,
or you don't come to school at all.
Snapping is one level, right? Snapping is one level, and yes, there could be a time where we've all crossed the line and made somebody feel bad. But bullying usually gets to the physical end too, and that's something we. You're saying like we weren't doing that.
Yeah, maybe this kid was getting beat up because the bottom line is we didn't touch. You had to get after you snap somebody and somebody told you to stop. You may have said, no, don't tell me to stop. You know what I'm saying? And then the cats throw your hands up, and then you got to be like, what? Like, I can snap and box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is like, smacking the kid in the head in the lunchroom and taking his cookies, right? Like, it's that kind of, bullying.
Yeah.
It's taking his backpack and throwing it in the toilet, right? Like, there's a lot of things that happen.
Now, what's so funny?
That's another level.
That's taking it to another level. Those are like a different level. Now, we would just like to snap. Norm told me to ask you. He said, ask Kevin if he ever used his white privilege in a traffic stop.
I don't even know what that means.
That means if you ever got pulled over and they saw that little redhead and they just like.
You got to understand, when I walk the streets, the rain stops. Traffic moves out of my way. I've never stood on line anywhere. I don't pay late fees on my credit cards. Nothing.
Oh,
I don't know what this means. I've never been pulled over and the guy looked at me and said, "Whitey, you're off. No worry." What do you mean? White privilege doing a car stop?
Yo, Kevin, he may have not said it, but in his mind, he probably said, "Oh, I gotta be a white guy. I'm not gonna."
No, but Bill, from day one,
Kevin, he might have said, "As long as he don't mouth off at me, don't be a smart little wise ass." You know what I'm saying?
From day one, I had the best thing in the world.
What you do?
I had the shield.
Oh yeah. You had the Trump card. Yeah. Listen, let me ask you. Listen, Norm was right. He said, Bill. He said, you should let everyone have it in Hunter. It didn't matter, man, woman, or child. You right. Listen, I'm still that way. I don't care. I'll tear your ass up. Yo, shout out to my man Sean Jones in the building. Sean and I was together one night. We was hanging out with some friends, and Sean was like, "Yo, B, let up off her. She had some Jerry curls, and I tore her ass up. Remember that, Sean? I destroyed her. You know what I'm saying?" Cheryl said, "Bruce Almighty, word." So what other video we got? We want to talk about. I sent you a bunch of stuff, Kevin. What else we got in there?
Are we gonna watch the shooters video?
Well, I kept taking it down because you was talking. No, they stop. You know, let's watch it. Come on, play it.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, bro.
No. He said, bro.
He said, bro. Red flags. Go.
Slow down, you're fine.
I want you to drop backpacks. We're okay. We're okay. Drop your backpacks. Yes. Thank you. Drop your backpacks.
Yeah. Well, you know, on a serious side, before we go to something else, you know, please, for those that have children, talk to them, ask them, you know, what's going on in school. I'm sure there was some mood swings. The parents had to go to school to find out what was going on, but it seemed like it was too late. This kid had already crossed on the dark side, and he wasn't coming back to a point of reality or a point of help. So with that being said, parents, talk to your child. Your child come home acting a little different. It may not be because they didn't do the homework and they're afraid that you're going to find out that they got an F. It may be a little bit more deeper than that. Go ahead, Kevin.
You gotta kiss the kids goodnight.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, what you say, Norm? He said, "Bro, is a red flag. Then, Bill, you are you are in trouble." You right about that. Paula said this was terrifying for those kids. Listen, you know what's so sad, Chuck? That you don't want to teach critical race theory in school, but you're teaching kids today how to escape a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is where we are. Like, we don't want to teach you to be better people, that you can love thy neighbor. We just want you to stay effed up and just learn how to
Deal with an active shooter.
do an active shooter. Like, there's drills for that. You know, remember, Chuck, when we had the little fire drill, that was a little time like, all right, the teacher be like, yo, today we're going to have a fire drill, everybody, boys and girls, at 12 o'clock. And we're going to walk in a single line and be quiet. If anybody talking, you're going to stay for detention.
Right.
Bing, 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 bing. Get up. leave your books, grab your sweater, whatever. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can't even get certain states to do the racial theory, but we're teaching active shooting. That's it's so far like learning about each other is so last on a totem pole, and that's a sad thing. What do you think about that, man? You know.
Well, quite honestly, man, when you look at it, when you look at just talking about anything in terms of trying to put people in a position to understand about the true history associated with, let's say, with the United States and
Right.
what and how we as immigrants, some of us slaves and some of us immigrants migrated here, and how some of us as immigrants evolved from being immigrants to being white, but we as slaves still are dealing with the fact that we're black and the issues associated with being black and all of the stereotypes and the issues associated with why even now we still have to iconically make mention of, oh, this was the first black this or the first black that. See, if in fact we all understood that we're human beings and we're all on the same level, there would be no reason to indicate very clearly, oh, this was the first black this or the first black that. But I never hear anybody when someone gets into any particular elective office saying, oh, he's the first white. Oh, maybe they might say the first white Catholic. I don't know. Maybe the first white Protestant, maybe. But usually it's not something that's generally stated. But it has to go to a caveat of being the title or because of the person's religion that you may say because it's attached to them being white. But once again, it's now a norm for us to teach our kids how to respond to an active shooter scenario in a school, as opposed to wanting to really teach them. And now they're not battling that issue, but there's a constant battle associated with what's being taught in schools and why are these kids learning this and trying to make it inclusion. They want to exclude certain byproducts of what this country has been built on. We don't want to teach that, but we're going to teach you. If somebody comes in with a gun, we're gonna go over this drill 1,000,001 times so you understand how to stay safe. And yes, it's two different ends of the spectrum. I get it. It is two different ends of the spectrum, but nonetheless,
but it is facts, Kevin. Before you, I don't know, you caught the gist of what we were saying.
No, because I saw Kevin turning red on one of the statements I made, so I know he's about to say something. I saw him turning red. I was, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kev. Hit me
I'm
with
sorry.
it.
No, I think you could teach both. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I don't think it's not an A or B. It's
right.
But we've talked about it. Like we've talked about it a lot, Bill, with policing, that they need to teach more about history of police with community and things that have gone horribly wrong and things that police departments have done wrong. So you understand the person's perspective.
Speaking of policing too, before I forget, I'm under the assumption, a strong assumption, that the mayor-elect is going to bring some kind of form of stop and frisk back, and I'm sure it won't be quota. And also, I'm under the assumption that he will bring some kind of street crime back too. So just throw that out there.
But we need to teach history of our country. You have to give the ugly side. You have to. I mean, how else do you grow and learn? Like there's things I've learned from Bill and learned from this show, that incidents I didn't know existed. And
Kevin,
it's
I'm
embarrassing.
So glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that I have to learn from the street more or less than
yes.
I didn't learn from my New York City public education system.
Yes.
And whose fault is that?
Yeah, and that therein lies the elephant in the room, the problem, Kev. I agree with you wholeheartedly that the school has to do better. I sent you something that's going to segue into the next thing that I want everybody to see. I think I sent it, and I said I might have labeled it Turks.
I have it queued up right now.
Well, good. Bring it up there, doggone it. Everybody,
I think the elf is screwing up my head today, right?
Everybody, I want to know your take on this statement, on these statements right here. and Kevin, Chuck, I'll definitely want to know your take on these statements. Let's bring him in.
Who
All right,
is this?
Kev.
You labeled it Turks. Who is this?
I think that's what they call them, the Young Turks. Or I forgot what they call it.
It's the Young Turks news.
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Not a big fan.
You don't feel. Yeah. I figured.
When they attack black people after they've been murdered, when they did absolutely nothing wrong, you're pushing us to the limit. And what do I mean by that? You're asking us to talk about history, the history of the South. This is in Georgia. What happened in Georgia? There were savages in Georgia. It was the ancestors of the white right-wingers. They were absolute savages. They murdered people, they lynched people, they raped people, they enslaved people. They took babies from their mothers and sold them as property. You want to talk about savages? Your ancestors were the biggest savages the world has ever seen. And so don't you dare call a black man a savage after you murdered him. Don't you dare do that. I'm so sick of African Americans being called violent when the world's worst violence was done to them, not by them, to them, not by them. For God's sake, you want to do racist stereotypes? If it fit anywhere, and it doesn't, but if it fit anywhere, it would certainly fit white right-wingers in the South, who has hundreds of years of history of being savages. Savages. They snatched babies and they sold them as property and they raped their mothers. Savages. That's what they were. You want to talk about stereotypes? Screw all of you who still defend that Confederacy. That monstrosity. Anyone who defends that is a barbaric savage.
You know, there was another clip that you had sent that was attached. It was longer, where he actually went into the history of what they used to do once they hung a black man, how they burned the body,
Right.
and then they cut off the genitalia.
Yes.
Right. And then after that, they sat around and had a picnic with the body in the middle of the picnic, right? And then as they would actually, the charred skin, they would scale off the charred skin and everyone would take a souvenir, including the kids, of the Negro's body to take home as a souvenir from the picnic.
So my only issue with this is classifying it as right wingers and their ancestors. I don't know if right wingers own the ancestry of Southern slave owners. You know,
good point.
I don't see
I wouldn't know either.
You know, that were the slave owners animals and savages? Yeah, it's not arguable, right? Like it's not arguable. I wouldn't have thrown in the political end of it.
Yeah. Chuck?
Okay. No, I can embrace that. I can embrace, because I'm not sure if it was right wingers, if it was left wingers, if it was freaking Republicans, Democrats. All I know is the South was known for being barbaric to black people. Period.
Yeah.
Right? People in the South, right? New
But
Orleans, Georgia.
and the South was more Democrat back then, and it was Democrats who were
Whoa.
in favor
First, if you're going to know your history, now you're about to.
Go ahead, I'm gonna challenge you. I know where this is going.
So tell me where it's going first.
Go ahead, tell me. No, listen.
First,
my apologies.
Do you know the Democrats? They were Republicans first, and then they became. No. Listen.
When did that happen? Tell me the date.
I don't know the
power.
year. I don't know the year. I don't know the year.
This is a thing that's been brought. Look.
Yeah, listen. Okay, I'm listening.
This has been brought up. Tell me when it happened. Tell me when the Democrat leaders and Republican leaders got together and said, "Let's switch sides."
No,
it never happened.
No,
there is no official.
You asked me a question.
Switch.
Let me answer.
Yeah, there's no switch.
No, Kevin, it is a switch. Do you Google it right now?
Googling it doesn't mean anything to me. Tell me when the switch is. I'm Googling it. I'm Googling to find the date. Find the. Give me the. You guys
in Google?
I'm telling. It doesn't exist.
It
People
does
talk about it. No, it's made up. It's a complete fabrication.
So you're telling me that
fabrication? Yeah.
You sound delusional.
Tell me when it happened. If parties switch sides, there has to be a date it occurred. When did it happen?
It did happen.
Did they have a grand meeting? The Republicans, Democrats said, "You know what?
Oh my God!
We're
I can't
switching
believe
sides."
a person that's so big on facts Does not
Yeah,
even,
give me the fact.
Kevin.
It is a theory.
It's not a theory.
And the problem is that Democrats don't want to accept that their history was that.
Kevin,
Instead of just
nobody
admitting it,
said-
saying
listen.
we were bad back then. But
Kevin, nobody
150 years ago, Democrats were bad. But that's not the party we are today. Instead, we twisted it and saying, well, no, really back then we were Republicans, not Democrats. It didn't. They never switched
Nobody
sides.
said that. See, no, you're mixing words. What I said is that at once upon a time, the Democratic Party eventually switched back to the Republican Party. It is historical. You
No,
can
it's not.
Google it.
Find it for me. You Google it. Find it for me.
I know it.
You're
You don't know
giving
it.
me a
You
fact.
find it. You want to know. I already know.
You gave me a fact that doesn't exist.
So if you're on a computer right now, right?
Yep.
Won't you type in was the Republican Party ever the Democratic Party?
It says here there's a date. It says, when did the Democratic Republican Party start? 1792. So at some point, there was a Democratic Republican Party. I guess at some point throughout the course of history, they ended up just becoming the Republican Party. But it says here the Democratic Republican Party. It says 1792.
Their stances and things and philosophies of parties have changed and morphed over the years, but they never switched
don't try to
sides.
switch.
There's
Don't
no
switch.
switching. There's no switch.
You are
Find
switching.
it.
You asked. Well,
I did. I Googled it. I can't find it.
Oh, you're full of shit, yo. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. You're full of shit.
You're telling me something happened in history. I'm saying it didn't. If you think it happened, then prove it.
I don't have to think. I read.
Then Google it. It shouldn't take you long.
All right. Here we go.
It didn't happen.
It did, Kevin.
Matter of fact, there's another. I'm looking at something here now. It says, why did the Democratic South become Republican?
Thank you.
I'm looking at something right here.
Yeah.
School him, please. Read it for him.
Not changing parties. It's people changing.
No.
The Democratic Party's been the Democratic Party from day one.
Words.
Republicans
playing words.
You're playing words. The party's never switched.
I'm reading.
The Democrat Party has not changed.
I need a shot of vodka, man, because I've been drinking salsa water.
Bill's about to get his
Chuck,
gun.
can you do me a favor, please?
Off his steam.
No, I just because the bottom line is I'm not going to continue to discuss it when I know something. So that because if I keep discussing that, then that makes me a fool. You understand what I'm saying? So can you do me a favor and just read what you just found? Because he doesn't want to accept it from my mouth.
Do it right now.
Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-hosts, Chuck and Kevin and Chuck. Mark said, guys, we are in a space at time where society is losing grip in all areas. History should be taught by many with no touch in for fear for making Europeans uncomfortable. Dr. Stanford went before Congress for this very issue. In short, the mostly white-filled Congress feared if youth found out about the real American history, a revolt would happen. With that said, some youths are out here purging department stores instead of tackling the system of white supremacy. Absolutely. Jonas Evans, what's up, Junior? He said the big change came with LBJ became president. Thank you. Please give Kevin some history. Paula said, please, guys, wise men always said there are two things that shouldn't be discussed, politics and religion. Paula, that's what we do. We talk politics, religion, and
we anger each other, we laugh at each other.
Yeah, and trust me, if I have to get in Kevin's ass on the podcast, I will get all in his ass. You know what I'm saying? So, Chuck, do you have that? Is it something that you want to read?
I'm trying to pull it up, man. For some odd reason, it's not. I'm trying to open the document. It's 2 pages.
Oh, okay.
Now, people switch sides. People who were Democrats became Republicans. People who were Republicans became Democrat. That's always changed people. The parties never switch.
Kevin,
the Democratic Party was the party that authorized slavery.
I'm not just. You never heard me dispute that. And then when they left a certain part of the South, they started the Republican Party. those Democrats started the Republican Party.
Some of them, some other people did too. It wasn't like
wait,
wasn't like all the Democrats just said,
What are you talking about?
we're
Some
no
other
longer
people?
Democrats. We're going to start. Bill, you can't put them all together.
Some
You
other
can't.
people.
Who the fuck are the other people? Who are the other people?
Who are all the Democrats that just became Republicans? I feel it's
Kevin,
I'm not
we're
arguing.
talking
This is silly.
Kevin, we're talking about a time when people wore the Virginia hair and stuff like that, and they switched when slaves became free and stuff. The Democratic Party was the first that started it, and then those people left the Democratic Party and started the Republican Party. That's facts. So when people try to talk about, the Democratic Party was the party that slaved you and stuff like that, but they people, yes, and they left. And then they started their own Republican Party. That's facts. If you don't know that, that's cool. We ain't got to discuss it no more because I can't twist your arm. I ain't going to twist your arm. I just know what I'm talking about. Yo, Mark said, Kevin, where would you like to start in American history? Slavery, buck breaking, feeding black babies to alligators, Emmett Till. Republicans weren't even support dismantling the law regarding lynching.
What law regarding lynching? Look, when we start American history, it's from day one. Is where we should start. We should talk about all of it. I've always been
now he want to be George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. Now you're saying, I'm sorry.
I have always said we should teach more about this. That's not.
But wait a minute. How can you teach more when you don't even know it?
I went to New York City public school. What do you want from me?
I listen. You
I might not know it, but you can't
shot
show
at
it.
Public schools. I ain't. You know what I'm saying?
What law regarding
that started the Republican Party?
What law regarding lynching? Is there a lynching law still on the books? I don't understand that part of the statement.
Yes, they didn't want to get rid of the lynching law.
Lynching laws in Georgia. Who did it and when? I know nothing of it.
You stay with stats. Let me stay with history.
Well, if you want to stay with history, you better start bringing out facts.
Listen,
and not facts according to Bill.
No, it's not facts according to me. Listen,
if
Kevin,
you can't have it co-signed, it ain't legit.
Listen,
that's your statement.
Chuck just co-signed it. Mark just co-signed it. It's a document. They just told you.
Get
it's a conspiracy?
No, that's not a conspiracy. I don't think that.
Listen, listen, you sounded like them little. You almost sounded like those little chat groups we have. We're all connected with that was saying. Mark said, "Excuse me, my bad, Dr. Educator Adelaide L. Stanford, who taught it in Harlem." So, what else we got? Because it's obviously I'm gonna have to give it. I'll send it to. Trust me. As soon as we get off,
once I download, I'm trying to get it to download. When it downloads, I'm going to send it to you.
And when you come back next week, I want you to say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know what I was talking about." And those exact effing words, I want you to say that.
Oh man.
I want you to say it. Repeat after me. I, Kevin Branzetti, did not know what the F I was talking about. I'm sorry.
Once you prove it, I'll admit it.
Listen, in our little chat, Chuck and I will both send you enough literature that you can have to read. And then don't you ever say it again. So let's go to something else.
Savages.
Yo, Mark is talking to you too. Everybody trying to educate you, but you in denial. It's like saying, if you bang your head on the wall, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're saying no, I still want to hit my head on the wall. It's okay. Then just bang it. But don't tell me I have to stand there and watch it. I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to save your ass.
Oh God,
let's go to something else. What else we got on the video? What else we got in
I think you gave me something with a robbery.
Okay. Yeah, crime is crazy. So let's show this robbery. Oh, also too, I don't have that clip about the two officers. Chuck and I talked about that. I don't know, Kevin. I thought we might have talked about it with you. The female officer that shot the perp and the gunman. I don't have that. On I think that was Thanksgiving Day or something in Brooklyn. Thank God the officers are safe. You know, we could show that if you want to. But let's see what this robbery thing is I sent you. Oh, look how disgusting is this? These creeps. How disgusting.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen this yet.
You know what I don't understand? It's just people are so they just prey on the innocent, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's so disgusting. It really is. Shout out to Calvin in the building. What's up, Cal? Yeah, just
I don't even want you say that. Like that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I mean, ladies, everybody, even men, please be careful during the holiday season. Be careful, period. But right now, crime all over the world is at an all-time high. It's not blue states, it's red states too. Just be careful. Watch yourselves. Men, try to travel with ladies to be a deterrent if you can. I mean, we know, people are independent, but still sometimes at least check on them and find out, teach your ladies how to watch their backs. Look for things, especially men in law enforcement, or ladies, listen and watch courses or anything you can do to protect yourself. Stefan just said, why do you guys think about the Plazo safe injection thing? What people can come do their drugs? What's the safe injection thing? I don't know about that.
The New York
so what
City.
They did was
Chuck.
No, what they did was they opened up 2 centers in the city of New York. It's probably the first within the country where people who are heroin addicts have a place where they can actually come and utilize, use their heroin in a safe environment. And also while they're there to possibly put them in a position that they could kind of wean them off, give them all types of treatment and therapy for the purposes of weaning them off of heroin. But it gives them a safe haven where if they're going to administer, heroin or morphine, that they could do it within this particular space, as opposed to being in train stations, on the street, hypodermic needles all over the city. Kids being, unfortunately, witnessing people in the streets shooting up. So they opened up 2 centers, and I think de Blasio says that he really believes that there won't be any legal battle to close them, because they've actually been very well received in other areas like Canada. Certain Philadelphia, I think, is in the process of having one done. Or Philadelphia already has one, if I'm correct. But there are 2 other states that actually have these particular centers, and it has reduced. It's all related to overdoses, because a lot of people were overdosing. A lot of heroin addicts were overdosing with fentanyl and all that. So it's to reduce the overdoses. It's also to give them a safe haven, and also to give them therapy and any type of treatment associated with their addictions.
I'll let you go, Kevin, first before I answer. I have something to say about that.
We've had no success in stopping addiction, trying something new, I'm in. Give it a shot. You know, I think they've already had a few deaths in the centers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm trying to Google right now.
Oh shit! Don't Google now. No.
Oh, yeah.
Now all of a sudden you want to Google shit. You
Oh,
want to
yeah.
Google about drug overdoses, but you don't want to Google about history. I got you. Anyway, listen. Let me just say this. I'll go, and then Chuck, you can finish it. You can close it out.
Okay.
I don't. That's like telling me to, you know, an alcoholic. Listen, at AA meetings, I'm going to have liquor there for you. You know what I'm saying? To wean you off your taste. You know what I'm saying? Your addiction. Listen, if either you're going to get help. I'm not saying everybody has to have cold turkey, but when do you stop? You understand what I'm saying? When do you stop? Let me tell you something. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I had to get an operation. A lot of people don't know when you have to get an operation, you have if you smoke cigarettes, there's a thing called smoker's bones, right? As you smoke cigarettes, get you in your system. Before I had back surgery, the doctor asked me, "Do you smoke?" I said, "Yes." He says, "You have to quit." I couldn't have my surgery right away. I had to wait 6 weeks, so the smoke could be out my system, because I had what you call smoker's bones after accumulation of time. That's why when people will always say, like, your lungs expand, when people say, when I stop smoking, I gain weight, your body expands, your lungs expand. It's not that you eat more. You know, smoking, people, that's, I think, like a little theory, a myth that, you know, smoking curtails eating. That's kind of not really true. But the thing is, I mean, because right now, everybody that smokes cigars, they don't consider that smoking. You understand what I'm saying? But even though it's still smoking, and he said I would have had to stop smoking cigars or cigarettes. I mean, but I wasn't smoking. I was smoking cigarettes then. I think right now, I don't think anybody judges themselves smoking cigars as a smoker, because, you know, if you smoke one cigar a day, if that, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, I had to go cold turkey because I had a timetable. The man that I am, I always feel, and this is just who I am, I'm not saying everybody is that person. If I have to do something, I have to do it. If it has to do something with life or threatening, like, I've never gone back to smoking a cigarette ever again. But the thing is, I had to go cold turkey. So now drugs, cigarette is a drug too. Drinking, alcohol, you know, and people do it in moderation. Drugs, to sit here and monitor how many drugs I give you, or the dosage of drugs I give you, or I'm going to give you a clean needle, because I'm going to make sure you don't catch HIV, or you don't catch hepatitis or something like that, but I'm going to still get you high, right? That's crazy to me. Or I'm, like Stefania said, weaning off pills or anything like that. Listen, people are going there to get pure, or, you know, good drugs now.
They don't sell the drugs there. They're not giving it.
Sell it.
It's BYOB.
They tell you to bring your drugs there.
They give you the tools to take the drugs. So they give you the clean needles. You come in with your own heroin.
So I'm co-signing you to get high clean.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't co-sign. Colin said they need to stop in saturating East and West Harlem with these methadone clinics. If you're concerned about these addicts, then put a clinic in every neighborhood. Stats has shown that these white addicts do not live in Harlem. I totally agree with you. 125th Street right now, Kevin. You know what 125th, 124th, and 5th Street look now?
Yeah.
The way it was when we used to work in Harlem. It's back to being disgusting again. It really is.
It's sad.
Yep.
It is sad. But yeah, the methadone clinic should be spread out. Homeless shelters should be split out. Like that, spread out. People in neighborhoods who don't unite and scream and yell don't get their way.
You're right.
People in influential neighborhoods are very good at
It's a shame. It's a shame. This is what you can't blame
Poverty.
this on, you can't blame this on the white person. It's like they put us in our neighborhoods because we don't speak up. If let me tell you something, if he was doing it in certain parts of Queens or Bay Ridge or Howard Beach, let me tell you something, the whole neighborhood would be out there in unison. If you listen, something in Harlem, first thing person say, "Nah, I ain't doing that. I gotta go meet my boys with drinks. I'm not out there marching. I don't do that." That's what's wrong with us. We don't stand up like that. That's my take. I don't know, Chuck, if you want to, close on that, not close the whole, the show. We got a few minutes, but you want to close on that topic. Yeah.
I mean, I guess in some degree, man, I kind of agree with Kevin because, I mean, right now, the way that the current system that we have in place, it's not helping. I mean, it hasn't done anything. And we have, in a way of weaning somebody off heroin, right? You put them on methadone, right? Or you put them on some other drug, hoping that it will wean them off.
Right.
And right now, if it's going to reduce possibly having, let's say, kids, right? I mean, it's kind of messed up, like you were saying. I'm walking through Hall, and I'm talking about like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And you got kids going to school, and then you got some cat in the cut, man, that's shooting up. Or you walk in past a certain neighborhood, and you see these hypodermic needles like laying. I remember that happening in the 80s, in the 90s. It's like I'm not thinking I'm walking through a damn time warp. So
yeah,
I'm looking at it in a collective measure in terms of community. If it's something that's going to provide, and hopefully, even if it only reaches one person who realizes they walk into this clinic and it does kind of wean one person off, then that's one less person then that's going to be out there shooting up. If it's going to take them off the street and put them in an environment where at least kids can stop being exposed to it, and it's not putting people in harm's way, and they don't have to see people doing the dope fiend lean and all this stuff. If it's going to do something in a sense of on a community-based level, and it's going to rid and possibly do something that may help the community, and maybe, like I said, if you can save one or two people, then fine. I'm with it. Right now, I'm open and receptive to anything, man, in regards to this issue, because these overdoses and the issues associated with fentanyl and heroin, I mean, it's coming back, and it's been coming back with a vengeance, and it's apparent that the other systems are not working.
Yeah.
Okay.
With all that said, though, I wouldn't want that place as my neighbor.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Right.
No, I understand.
I want to try new things. I want to try something different, but
you don't want it to be next door.
Having people getting high and coming out to your block. Is an interesting thing, right? Like,
no,
wait a minute. Hold on. You don't want it to be your neighbor, but you co-signing the idea. So where are they putting these centers?
It's a tough place to figure out where do you put them. Do you put it next to on the West Side Highway by the Intrepid, right? Like, do you put it? There's not many places in the city of New York that you can keep it 1,000 feet away from anybody's home or school. It's a very tough one.
I'm not sure where the two locations were. They're in Manhattan. Where are they? I didn't do the homework on that. Anyone know where the two locations they have in the city? Where are they? What boroughs?
I'll get you in a second.
Oh, you a Google master when it comes to shit that you want to find, huh?
You're still talking nonsense over there.
Oh boy. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-hosts Chuck and Kevin. We have talked about everything. The Ahmaud Arbery trial. We talked about the am I saying it? Is it Missouri? Or where is it?
Michigan.
Kevin? Michigan shooting. Prayers for those families. We talked about bullying. We're talking about meth. Thank you, Stefania, with that. Colin says sometimes they even defecate in front of the yard. Damn.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, listen, I feel if a person really wants to get off something, I mean, this is my personal feeling. I know this from certain experiences with people, and I'll leave it there. If you want to get off something, you can get off it. I bet you if they tell a drug addict, if I got $1 million, you clean up, get off drugs, you come back, it'd be like trading places, bro. You understand what I'm saying? It'd be like trading places.
Yeah. And then they'll take the $1 million and get high again.
But they didn't.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just saying. There's always that 50-50 chance that they just use that money and go back to getting high again.
I totally agree with you on that.
Right.
I feel they would do it enough time to get that money.
Right.
You see what I'm trying to say? So what I'm trying to say is, if they want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything has to be a want. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't think when these people on 125th or wherever, 24th, standing on a corner falling, I don't think they want help. I think they want to go to the clinic to get help, to get the drug or whatever they're getting, clean needles. But you know, and down there, those people there probably don't even want to work there. Next, what you want, you know, here's your needle kit. Next, you know what I'm saying? Next. So it is what it is when it comes to stuff like that. Before we get out of here, what you got something else, Kevin, in the archives, in the emails?
Nah, I don't think there's any other.
No, there's something else. No. No, there's something else. There's something else. I know.
Oh man!
I sent it to you and Chuck. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's something else. What did I send you? What you got? Huh?
I don't know. You have one child here called Sandra Bullock. I didn't even look at it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Play that.
What?
I always know there's something else with you, you little slick rascal. You.
No, I didn't even look at it. You know, you can play your own videos, my friend.
Don't have me get Malika involved in this. Then you. Really
I didn't say anything about Malika.
Oh, well, see. Listen.
Are you trying to tell me you're not capable?
You never heard that word. You never heard that word.
Incapable?
Never heard that word. I'm just trying to make you feel important. Trying to give you something new.
Oh man! Oh.
Like,
where's the flag? Where's the flag at? Where's the yellow flag?
But you like looking up shit, so I figured I'd give you your emails and shit to look up. I love you.
Oh man!
Stefania said both locations are in Harlem. Okay.
She believes, yeah. It's actually hard to. I'm having a little bit of a hard time finding this location.
Oh,
which would make it hard for me to go. How are you supposed to go shoot up if you don't know where to go?
Exactly. I want both of y'all to hear this and then give me your thoughts, and then we can get out of here. Go ahead.
I have a beautiful black son. It's at the age of 6. He popped on a hoodie, and I was like, "We're gonna have a conversation. It's different for you than it is." And I said, "What does it look like you're doing with the hoodie?" And he says, "Well, I look like I'm hiding. Do you have anything to hide?" He said, "No." I said, "Then you don't need to wear it like that outside." I said, "People are scared and will react to you differently than if you were a white boy." And he knows it. I let them see everything. I let them hear and know everything, see it all. I don't care if it scares them, because it's my job to let them know that outside of these safe walls that things are different, but they know how safe they are in my house. And it's a scary thing to be a parent in general. It's a scary thing to think that when your beautiful son grows up and becomes a man, someone's not going to treat him the way that you treat him simply because of the color of his skin. It breaks my heart. It makes me full of rage. It makes me afraid. But all I can do is my job, protect them and enlighten them, show them their power, show them how to be safe. But the system is not fair. This whole film is about a system of unfairness. And why don't we make more movies about those who are disenfranchised and aren't born into the luxuries that some of us have been lucky enough by the roll of a dice to have been born?
I went with Chuck last time, Kevin. I'll go with you this time first. What's your take?
It's pretty nice, pretty spectacular what she's saying. I mean, she's right on the money. I don't know what else you could say.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Chuck? It's so funny where the overall issue associated with just, all right, I'm not, I think what Sandra Bullock said was heartfelt, and I get it where her perspective is. She's trying to educate her son. First, I was kind of surprised. I didn't know she actually had adopted or she had a black son. I didn't. This was all news to me, so I didn't know that. All right. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing. The second thing was the overall inference in regards to wearing a hoodie, right? It's cold. It's the winter time. You're gonna put on a hoodie, right? Everybody is white, black. But for her to sit there and actually say, well, why are you wearing your hoodie? Why are you wearing your hood? She says, well, what is it? What does it infer? He says, it infers that I'm hiding. She says, you have anything to hide? See, that's the only part that I didn't dig. That was the only part I didn't dig. I understand her reasoning for wanting to educate him, make him understand that the world in itself looks at him being a black man totally different from white. And he's going to be treated differently and looked upon differently. But I don't think it should have been related to wearing something that everyone else wears. You want to tell him historical issue in terms of Trayvon Martin and other black men who unfortunately were wearing hoodies, and the outcome of those circumstances when wearing a hoodie, and that's what created fear. And unfortunately, these black men are no longer here. I get it, but I don't think that it's fair to say that the same way. Let's say, for instance, it was a Yankee cap, right? New York City Yankee cap, and all black men, unfortunately, who were being shot or maimed or killed had on a New York Yankee cap. Does that mean that I shouldn't wear a New York Yankee cap because it makes a white person fearful because I'm wearing a Yankee cap? You see what I'm saying? So I understand the message she was trying to convey. I just don't think it should have been related, or she should have given him some background, or maybe she did, about the issues associated with her hoodie. But I don't think the hoodie should have been the namesake of what she was trying to convey to him about hiding and so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
He's young, right? I mean, how old is the kid again?
You said 6, right? Yeah.
I mean, this is a tough concept. I'm thinking my youngest is 6. That's a tough concept to give, and you got to start small with bits and pieces, and to fully explain everything is going to take some time. He's 6.
No, I think she said when she told him he was 6. How old is he now? Was he? Because I think the way she said it was when he was 6, she told him about the hoodie. I don't know how old he is now. I mean, is that in the present, or is she saying that she was I don't know. I'm not sure.
Right.
But either way, I'm just saying you're right. If he's currently 6 years of age and she's trying to explain to him, the dynamic associated with how he's going to be looked at differently wearing a hoodie at the age of 6 and whatever. I get it, but I'm not sure. Is he?
She adopted 2 kids. Her son is now 11, and daughter also black 9.
Okay. So right. So he's 11 now. So she said when she first got him at 6, she told him about why are you wearing your hoodie. So a 6-year-old's being told at that young age, okay, that you shouldn't wear your hoodie that way because you look like you're hiding. I mean, I don't know where they live, but if I'm living in the South Bronx and it's fucking cold, I'm wearing a goddamn hoodie. I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, mommy.
I'm sorry. It's just, I mean, but you're living in California, okay, and it's warm and, but white cats, right? White kids, I don't know, like, for instance, I always used to wonder why I used to see guys in California and it's like 75 degrees, but they're wearing a wool sweater hat on their heads.
I never understood that move either.
Like, I understood it. Like, they're wearing things that are relatively like, and they're heavy. Like, why are you wearing a wool sweater hat on your head? And it's freaking 75 degrees in California. That obviously that's a dressing thing, right? That's something they do. It's a fad or it's a culture issue. So let's say that he's only mimicking what the other freaking kids do because he feels he could do it just like everyone else. What if the white cats, like she said, white cats can wear white hoods, but can wear hoodies, but he can't. I mean, I don't know. Like I said,
is she telling him he can't wear it, or is she telling him he would be perceived differently?
I think she's
saying right.
I don't think she's telling him he can't.
Well, I think she asked why did he have it on, and I mean, I think noble of her to try to change the world and enlighten, to bark on and
oh yeah, absolutely,
adopting a child out of her skin, her ethnicity, but the thing is too, wearing hoodies is a fad now. Have people taken wearing hoodies and made it something derogatory and negative? Because now when people, I'll wear a hood, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna wear a hood and maybe in the car, until if the car is warm. But the thing is, I mean, Kevin has on a hood sweatshirt right now.
Yeah, but the hood and it's never up.
Yeah.
Messes up the hair.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. My God.
Oh,
so
man.
so I think,
but you also gotta, with the hoodie thing, right? There are criminals put their hoodies up when they're going to commit a crime, right? Like I get
Right. I get it.
like those kids who like that stroller, right? Their hoodies
Right,
up,
man,
mask
right.
on, hat
So-
low.
so-
It's all part of what.
so, and that's what I think. I
does.
agree with both of you. I think that's where maybe like what Chuck was trying to say. Maybe she's going a little bit too much to say that a hoodie, and being a person of color, you're gonna get. Maybe what she should have said is where we live, Junebug. You wear that hood, you're gonna get labeled a little crook and a little thief because you're black. Because we're in Beverly Hills or wherever she's at.
Right, because
So
I think that's
what
where
she
she's
needs to-
at.
That's what she needs to say. Maybe she
in the
just
home
to
of
stereotype
racism.
anybody wearing a hood because there are uniforms with hoods.
Yeah.
Like baseball players have sweat hoods. Basketball players have sweat hoods. Football players have sweat hoods. So I don't know. I don't think they don't do that with hockey, but right? Do they have hoodies in hockey?
They wear suits to their games.
Oh no, he didn't.
I did.
I didn't say to the game. I said during the game.
Everybody's got not during the game. We don't wear while you're playing.
No, but I'm saying as you sitting on the bench. Okay, well, see, that's what I'm doing.
Hockey's played by men. They don't wear. They don't need something to keep warm.
Oh man! Oh no! Real men play hockey. Real men play hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. That was so cute. So the moral of the story is, let's not be judgmental of each other and stuff like that. We need to stop that kind of nonsense. Thank you, Cheryl. I got it. I'll check it out. So everybody, holidays is here. It's so sad. I don't know if it feels like we didn't even talk about the new variant that's out here, but we talked about me getting a booster shot. I did get the booster shot. I mentioned it today. I said to a guy today in a store, and this is just going to segue us out. Kevin said black started hockey. Look that up, Kevin. Black ice. Woo!
Good. I don't care. I thank any one of them.
No, he
doesn't matter to me.
He don't mind that. But as long as we talk about Republicans and Democrats, he'll argue that shit. You know what I'm saying? Marquetta said, "I think he is a fool. I can't stand our mayor." Exactly, he is. I said to a guy in the store today, I said, "Listen, happy holidays." He said, "Not yet." So I had to look at him. And he said, "Yeah, Thanksgiving just finished. People rushing Christmas on me." I wanted to say, nut. You know what I'm saying? like Thanksgiving to New Year's Eve, that's happy holidays. Right. But, I think it's sad that some people are just like, I'm not a holiday person. I've never been. I have my reasons. But I can say it with the best of them. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Thanksgiving, all that. I can spew it with the best of them. What I do on that day is a whole nother story. But the thing is, don't be a Debbie Downer. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to anybody named Debbie or Ebenezer. I'll be Ebenezer, on those days. But the fact that some people are just not happy. And I guess the moral of my story is, please find your happy place, because it shows. When you speak to people, it shows. If you're not happy, negativity, stupidity, you know what I'm saying? Like it'll come out. It's like smelling liquor from a drunk. It'll come out your pores. Or somebody smoking weed or whatever the case may be, or cigars or anything that you'll smell it, you'll see it, you'll hear it. So I guess the moral of your story for everybody going into 2022, try to find your happy place, whatever that is, whomever that's with, even if it's by yourself. Some people, See, I might have to go back to having a segment on some relationships, because some of you are not really happy. You're with people that you think you're happy with, or you just want to be comfortable. COVID, you really didn't want to be alone. Listen, be happy, find happiness. You know what I'm saying? That's my PSA. I'll let Chuck, you go, or Kevin, you can go, whichever, whomever wants to go first.
Go ahead, Kev. Go shoot, brother.
Are we closing out?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I got some shit to send you in a few minutes. So yeah, so
it's gonna take you hours to figure it out.
Yeah, it ain't gonna take me hours. It's gonna take me about 2 minutes, doggy. How about that? I might start right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna enjoy next week.
Wow, what's happening? Oh yeah, because you gonna come on here. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh man.
And I'm gonna send you multiples. I don't even need to send you one article that says that they changed. Because well, before we get out of here, since you want to bring this shit back up,
we'll wait till the green room. We'll fight this in the green room.
No, we ain't had to fight. I don't want to talk to you no more after that.
Oh God!
I had it with you. I don't even want you to look at me. Now, at least close your eyes. I don't want to talk. Go ahead. Mute. Take your screen. No, give us some positive love, Kevin, before we get out of here.
Right. You started saying we're in the holiday season. All right, there's a lot of people going to be going back to being afraid to come out. People in nursing homes who can't get people to visit. Yeah. It's time to show others some love. Let's not forget our neighbors. Let's not forget those who are, spending a lot of time by themselves. It's a tough time of year for some people.
Yeah.
It only takes a little bit. Only takes a little care, a card, a little present, a phone call. Reach out, touch somebody. It's that time of year.
Yeah. Chuck?
Bro, I'm just going to reiterate something. I think I've said this maybe on 2 other segments, and this is that time of the year where I think maybe it might be most relevant, that there are 4 things in life that sometimes could actually reduce someone's suffering. It can put a lot of things at peace, and they're very simple phrases. 1 is I'm sorry. 2 is thank you. 3 is forgive me. And 4 is I love you. If you can remember those 4 phrases, and at times when we're in a state of crisis, and to remember that sometimes those little statements, those little phrases can reduce someone else's suffering, someone else's pain, we should consider on using them. Those are 4 phrases where sometimes we take for granted and we don't use enough.
Chuck, say it again, because I want Kevin to hear it, because he's going to say it next week. What are the phrases again? I just want to hear it.
The 4 phrases is I'm
sorry. Yeah.
Forgive me.
I will.
Thank you.
What'd you say?
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
And I love you.
Okay.
Yeah, look,
4
1 out of
phrases.
4 ain't bad, Bill.
I'm
be back 250 next week.
Okay. Because
Bill, I love you, but
I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah.
The rest you're
going to say I forgive you. Yep. Exactly. I'll say I forgive you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. Thank you for tuning in. We coming to the stretch, man. We trying to get it to the 2022. Wow, can't that believe that? It's crazy, man. Right? Yo, everybody.
Time flies.
Yeah. Monday, we'll see what's going on with Al Taylor. Maybe we try to get everybody on the show together before we get out of here for the new year. I mean, Christmas, maybe the holidays, because I'm thinking that we might just shut it down for the Christmas, the New Year weeks, just so everybody can do what they have to do for their families and their loved ones. I mean, in case I have to come on an emergency, or we have to come on an emergency, God forbid something happens like that, we do that. And yes, I got it in regards to Colin said, when are we having the RCT holiday gathering since we didn't have a picnic? You're right. Maybe I'll do that for my birthday, because my birthday is right after Christmas. We'll find something in New York and get together. Hopefully everybody can make it, have a little get together, gather, a little cocktail or 2, You know what I'm saying? Everybody, have a wonderful evening. I'm about to get into Kevin's ass on the green room. He gonna try to get in mine, but it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? We love you all. Appreciate you all for watching. That was just a joke. We laugh and laugh. Thank you for the hearts and the thumbs and everything. We'll talk to you in a few. All right, everybody, enjoy. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Peace and blessings.
Yeah.